Hey guys, what up? Mike here, Laker Talk. I want to share my thoughts on the Laker free agency and some things that we can do now that we know that we got the number 2 pick, and most likely we're going to draft Brandon Ingram as a small forward. I've been chatting back and forth with guys on Twitter, and when we throw out big names like the Whitesides, the DeRozans, gets excited, right? We're always thinking about we have so much money in cap space. We have about close to $60 million in cap. And we throw out these names, and we're always looking for the big fish, right? But here's the thing. There's so many different variables in play, and Mitch Kupchak touched on this in one of his interviews, in that we don't have to spend all our money. Okay, even let's just hypothetically say that we go after Whiteside, okay, and we pay him $20 million a year, right? Over 4 years or 5 years, right? And then we go after DeRozan. DeRozan wants to come home. He's from LA. He's unrestricted. It's been rumored that he wants to come back to LA, right? And we go after him. We pay him close to $20 million a year. Let's say they take up most of our cap money. With Whiteside, DeRozan, and the squad that we have, D'Angelo, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Clarkson, we're going to have a really nice squad. But we're not ready to compete with that squad with Golden State. We're not ready to compete with that squad with the Clippers, possibly, but we're not ready to compete at Western Conference Final level. That's going to be 3 years down the road. Or we're not getting back to the promised land next year. So why, spend our money and try to tie up these max type players when it's going to clog up our cap? And then when D'Angelo Russell becomes a free agent, we need space to max him out. When Julius Randle becomes a free agent, we're going to need to spend some money on him. When Brandon Ingram, rookie deal's over, we're going to have to max him out or whatever. If these guys can become all-stars, right? Potentially. Now, I'm foreseeing the future, but I don't want to strap ourselves right now on guys who aren't really big number one players. Like, obviously, if there's a Kevin Durant that's available, yeah, max him out and bring him here, whatever you got to do. He's a bona fide superstar. But DeRozan's not a superstar. Whiteside's not a superstar. These guys are just all-star type players. And so I say, like Mitch Kupchak, I think he's thinking smart too. We maybe go after one guy like a DeRozan, but now we have $35 million left in cap. And then we go after guys like, I'm right now on Hoops Hype. I'll link the link right here in the description. It's all the available players, that's upcoming. And it's like over 80 players. You got guys like Timothy Mozgov that plays for the Cavs right now, center, right? He's making $4 million a year. He's an unrestricted free agent. Lakers could go after him, pay him $8, $9 million or whatever a year, like a 3-year deal. Bring him to LA, have him play center for us. He is more than serviceable. Timothy Mozgov can ball. I mean, for around $8 million, $9 million a year, that would be great for us. You got Maurice Spates, who's making close to $3.8 million a year, right? Pay him $8, $9 million a year, right? For a 3-year deal, something like that, right? Maurice Spates, more than a serviceable type of center that can stretch the floor, can shoot, all that stuff, right? What I'm saying is, and then you got guys like Matt Barnes, who's a free agent, right? You can pay him $3 million a year, like a $9 million deal. You can tie him up for 2 or 3 years, and he can come off the bench and really be a nice, serviceable small forward for us. You got guys like Bazemore, who's a free agent. You can go after guys like him, but Bazemore might want a little bit of money because he kind of balled out for Atlanta, so he might be looking for a payday. I'm not sure, but my point is this: you go after a guy like DeRozan, right? You go after one nice, solid all-star player, and then you fill in and use the cap space to look around the league at guys who are going to be who can really play, like a Matt Barnes, but he's only going to cost you $3 million a year. $3.5 million a year. You look at a guy like Timothy Mozgov, who is a very serviceable center. He's not an all-star, but he's a very good center that can ball for us. And then we're going to have our other guys that are going to shine, like the D'Angelo Russell, who's going to grow into becoming an all-star. You got Brandon Ingram. You're going to have a guy like DeRozan if we get him. So that's my thoughts on where the Lakers should go. I'm not thinking we need to max out like Whiteside and max out DeRozan. We obviously don't need Harrison Barnes anymore, but don't max out. We're not going to max out two players that's going to get us what, like a ninth seed, eighth seed, like barely make the playoffs and get bounced out. I think we're going to play it smart, fill in our. We have so much money, we're going to fill in our roster with some really nice team, like players. We're going to end up in the next year or two being like an Atlanta team where you have a really deep squad, but no one's really like a max type player. And then we're going to have because these are going to be like 3-year deals. When D'Angelo Russell's and the Brandon Ingrams, their deal starts to come up, we're going to be able to have money and have space to actually max out those guys when they become all-stars as well. All right, that's my thoughts. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Hit me up in the comments. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing. And follow me on Twitter, guys, at Mike Sports Delight. We'll talk soon. Peace.